Hello everyone, I'm Nuki and Azhar as my partner would like to present the topic of about dictionaries and meaning postulates. We will do in turn and would like to invite you to join with our discussion. A technology that strives to understand human communication must be able to understand meaning in language. To start, let's clarify our definition of words and sentences from a linguistic point of view. Word meaning. A word is a string of characters that can have different meanings. For example, jaguar, car or animal. Driver, the one who drives a vehicle or the part of a computer. Rose, the plural noun or the third singular person of to the verb to row. Sentence meaning. A sentence is a group of words that express a specific thought. To capture it, we need to understand how words related to other words. For example, Paul, Jack's brother, is married to Linda. Linda is married to Paul, not to Jack. Let's take a look for further word meaning. Dictionaries only give paraphrases, not fundamental characterizations of word meaning. Here's some example. Overcoat is a coat worn over indoor clothing. Terror is a state of intense fear. Fear is to be afraid. Afraid is fearful. Reference. The entity or entities in the world identified by the word. Same reference. A. George W. Bush. B. President of the United States. If A and B have the same reference, they can substitute for each other in a sentence without changing the meaning of the sentence. A. George W. Bush met with the members of Congress. B. The President met with members of Congress. It is the same meaning. But the next sentence don't have the same meaning. I want to be the President of the United States versus I want to be George W. Bush. It has different meaning. It have different sense. George W. Bush, the President of the United States. What is sense? It is the meaning of a word which is independent of its reference, the word's mental representation. The following often have the same reference, but always have a different sense. My father, my mother's husband. While this one have sense but no reference. The King of the United States. Werewolf, dragon, unicorn. Now, we are going to see about prototypical reference. For many common nouns, the set of possible referents are clustered around a prototype. For example, bird. As you may see, it has various types, such as shown at the pictures. Prototypical exemplars of a category are more readily processed than a typical exemplars. Now, let's see the semantic relations among words. Synonym. A and B mean the same thing. A can be paraphrased by B. A and B have the same reference. For example, automobile, car, big, large, purchase, buy, throw up, vomit. Antonym. A and B have related but contrastive meanings. The examples are complementary, alive, dead, credible, dark, light, young, old, reverse, left, right, come, go, converse, employer, employee. Let's move on. Hyponymy and hypernymy. If B is a hyponym of A, then the meaning of B is a special case of A. If A is a hypernym of B, then the meaning of A is a more general instance of B. Here's the clearer explanation of hyponyms. See the chart below. Animal can be separated into various types: bird, bug, human, animal. Bird can be divided into sparrow, hawk, crow, fowl. And fowl, you can have few types. For example, quail, turkey, and chicken. While animal, you can have several types: dog, cat, cow, and snake. We can also see the unproductive of hyponym formation. Hypernym. Interesting. Hyponym. Very interesting. Hypernym. Car. Hyponym. German car. So, it's adding a modifier. Not with compounds. Let's take a look at the example. Boombox. Is it a box? No. Is it a sound system? Yes. Station wagon. Is it a wagon? No. Is it a car? Yes. Soap opera. Is it opera? No. Is it TV show? Yes. You can also find out about polysemy, which is one word has more than one related meaning, and homophony, one phonetic form has more than one meaning. Here's the sample of it. Polysemy: bright, meaning 1, shining, meaning 2, intelligent. Homophony: bad, meaning 1, winged rodent, meaning 2, baseball equipment. Polysemy versus homophony. Polysemous word hard has two meanings. Meaning 1, difficult. Meaning 2, durable or solid. It categorized as single lexical entry. Homophones. The word bad has two meanings. The first is rodent. Bad in second meaning is baseball equipment. It categorized in distinct lexical entries. That final note concludes my presentation. The next theme of meaning postulate will be delivered by my partner. Azhar, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Nuki. After learning about linguistic semantics dictionary, where it is about the way semantic information is represented, and also it gives several examples of predicates, sense relationships, and also sense properties. Now in this section, we will discuss the concept of a meaning postulate, which is a formula expressing some aspect of the sense of a predicate. Repeating what Nuki has explained previously, dictionary is a list of predicates and their senses. Each of predicate there is a dictionary entry which lists the sense properties of that predicate and the sense relations between it and other predicates. So the question comes up, what is meaning postulate? Postulate is a formula expressing some aspect of the sense of predicate. It can be read as a proposition necessarily true by virtue of the meaning of the particular predicates involved. Here is the example where you see that meaning postulates define sense relations by means of logical formula. The fact that all flies are insects is shown by this formula where the upside down A stands for the universal quantifier and logic meaning for all something holds. So this formula there can be read for all item X. It holds if X is a fly, then X is also an insect. Not everything we know about this predicate is represented directly in this meaning postulate, but much can be arrived simply by deduction from the information actually given, because the semanticist wants the presentation of information in his dictionary to be economical, and so only includes the minimum number of meaning postulate from which it is possible to deduce all direct or indirect sense relations between predicates. To exemplify the meaning postulate, some examples regarding hyponyms, antonym are given in the next slide. First is hyponymy. It is a sense relation in semantics that serves to relate word concepts in hierarchical fashion. It is a relation between more general terms and their more specific instances of it. In the slide, you can see a picture as an X. Therefore, we can make a formula X parrot, a symbol arrow, X, bird. It can be read, if X is a parrot, then X is a bird. If X is a bird, then X is an animal. If X is a parrot, then X is an animal. In short time, that parrot is hyponym of bird, and that bird is hyponym of an animal. Let's move on to selectional restriction. It's the semantic restriction that a word imposes on the environment in which it occurs. It applies to two-place predicates. Restriction may affect the expression in the subject position, which is X slot, or the expression in the object position, which is Y slot. Let's see the example here. John struck the table is fine, but John struck the motherhood is not. A meaning postulate to express this fact can be formulated as follows. X strike Y, an arrow, Y concrete. We can read as, if X strike Y, then Y is a concrete. Contradiction. Contradiction is the most centrally logical term. The basic form of logical contradiction is P and negation P. Anything that is clearly an instance of this basic logical contradiction, you can see from the example here. John is here and John is not here. Turning our attention now to anomaly. It is a semantic oddness that can be traced to the meaning of predicate and the sentence concerned. Basically, anomaly tends to be a contradiction. Well, let's see the example here. Students teach teacher. From that sentence, we see that there is an abnormality between the predicates. The verb and the predicate cannot be combined in that way. So we can say that anomaly involves the violation of selectional restriction. Next, binary antonymy. Case of binary antonymy between two-place predicate. Meaning postulate using the negative connective to account for antonymy of the following pairs. We'll see the example here between two words good and bad. We can read the formula. If X good for Y, then X is not bad for Y. In a conclusion, meaning postulates plays a control part in traditional approach to constructing a semantic dictionary. Meaning postulate can be used to deduce information about sense relations, hyponym, and also antonym, selection, and anomaly. That conclusion brings us to the end of this presentation. I'd like to thank you for your time and attention. Thank you very much for your interest and attention. And now, we are happy to answer any question you might have.